if you have anxiety inside of you, you're trying to get rid of it. You see, your conscious mind is trying to repress it and deny it and shove it down, but your subconscious and unconscious are trying to bring it up and out. So there's this tug of war going on. You're trying to shove it down, they're trying to bring it up and out. So they win. So it's going to come up and out. It's going to come up and out through the body, mind, and through the soul and spirit, actually. Through the body, mind, and through your consciousness. And how it starts to express itself physically. Now, I'll get back here a little bit because I'll have to demonstrate some of these. Some people are just always like twirling their hair. Yeah. Or they're just, I'm just, no, I'm not anxious. No. What are you talking about? The nail biters. Or always cracking their knuckles. I have a good friend who does that. It drives me crazy. Every time I'm around the driving, cracking their knuckles. The nail biter. That's the physical ways that they're trying to expel. It's trying to move this energy, this running anxiety, trying to get it up and out. To identify which ones do you do physically. The self-groper. This is common in sports. They're out in the sports and the guy has to do an inventory to check, make sure all his body parts are there before he picks up the bat and hits the ball. That's anxiety. It's an anxiety pattern. It's like, I'm just always self-groping, trying to make sure I've got everything in place. The foot shaker, the person that sits down and their legs going like this. I can't show you my legs, it's too far down, but they're always doing this. Oh, no, I'm not anxious. What are you talking about? I'm not anxious. Whoa. They're running anxiety. That's called physical, trying to alleviate some of the pressure from the pressure cooker. These are signs, clues of physical anxiety trying to work its way up and out. The percussionist, the one who's always, or tapping, making noise, tapping, always doing something, then singing a song, endless tape loop of a song. You've ever had that? You can't get a song out of your mind? Like you hear this song and you like it and the beat, you may not even like it. It might be some, television commercial. But you can't seem to get it out. It's like a tape loop. That's anxiety. That's part of anxiety. So the body tries to express and release anxiety physically through twisting your hair, biting your nails, picking, people picking at themselves all the time, scratching and picking, and that's part of anxiety. I'm uncomfortable. I'm anxious. The nail biter, the percussionist, as I mentioned, the foot shaker, the self-groper, the knuckle cracker. Those are just some common ones. You could probably think of others. But to look at it, that's physically how I'm trying to let the pressure of anxiety up and out. And that's one of the clues. Am I feeling anxious right now? Those can be like, hey, that's like flag. Hey, I think I'm feeling anxious. Let me be conscious of that. Not just say, oh, no, it doesn't matter. No, I'm not anxious. No, I'm just riddled. But let yourself explore the physical and the mind mentally. So you got the body, the mind. How does the mind try to express and deal with anxiety? Worry. Worry is one of the ways it tries to express. I'm always so worried about this happening. I'm worried that this is not going to happen. I'm worried, and people that love to worry about anything. I read this article about this bubonic plague that happened to outbreak across the world, and I'm just worried I might get it. Really? Are you going to sit there and fester on it and be worried? That's the way the mind is trying to move through some of the anxieties, through worry. Procrastination. Procrastination is another form of anxiety. I'm trying to work through and procrastinating. I'll put that off. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's a better day. Today, nobody ever picks up their phone on a Wednesday. So let's do this on Thursday. And then Thursday comes around. Well, Thursday, you know what? There's always a reason to not do it. Procrastination. Procrastination is the mind's way to avoid responsibility, but it's also a form of trying to express some repressed anxiety. Depression is often another form of anxiety. I'm depressed. It's sapped all my energy, and it's like sucked the life force out of me. I just don't have the energy. And it's often anxiety is, because what is anxiety? Depressed, repressed emotion. Well, it takes a lot of your energy. And it produces anxiety, and it sometimes tries to relieve itself through being depressed, just shutting down. And that's another form. Righteousness. The people that are righteous, they have to be right. I've got to be right. And I don't care about peace. I don't care about connection with other people. Righteousness is a form of mental anxiety. Worry, doubt, righteousness, doubting yourself constantly. Instead of feeling confident and knowing that you can cope, that it's okay to make mistakes. Because when you doubt yourself, it's like, I'm not okay to make mistakes. I've got to do it perfectly. And doubt is like, well, what if I don't do it perfectly? What if I make a mistake? So what? You can learn from it. But doubt, worry, procrastination, blame. Oh, blame is another way anxiety tries to work its way out mentally and emotionally. I mean, who can I blame? We live in a world of blamers. Everyone wants to blame. Who can we blame for this? I'm so anxious. I watch the news, and what are the news reports? What do they say? Oh, who's to blame? Who's to blame? Let's get this. Because we're all anxious about the condition, the situation, but blame is a way to try to alleviate, unsuccessfully, but it's an attempt to let go of some of that anxiety. And when you can consciously release it, learning the techniques and the tools to let go of your anxiety, because it's not just one thing, it's lots of layers of anxiety inside of you that you have built up over a period of time. And when you can start to release that energy and transform that energy, you can be free to feel more power and more peace and more clarity, mentally, emotionally, physically. So the mind uses and tries to express in how you might be doing anxiety on a mental level, on the mind level, is by procrastinating, by blaming, by being just being righteousness, worrying all the time, doubting yourself all the time, procrastinating all the time, and being depressed all the time can be a way mentally you're trying to deal with expressing unsuccessfully the anxiety on a mental level. Spiritually, on a spiritual level, the soul and spirit is anxiety becomes trying to be, it can influence and affect you on the spiritual level. And one of the ways is through meditation. Through meditation, my meditations become, a counting exercise, a breathing exercise. That's what my meditations become. When I'm trying to deal with the anxiety, it interferes with the clarity of my imagination. It blocks my intuition. So I start trying to, open up to my intuition and start trying to understand my imagination. And my meditations become very superficial on the surface, nothing deep, nothing profound, where imagination begins to imagine itself. So on the soul and spiritual level, it influences, anxiety does, but it also reduces your sense of being powerful, and it interferes with static between you and your higher self and your soul. It's like, yeah, I get the concepts, Michaiel, of what you talk about with your soul and your spirit. I get the concepts of the higher self, but I don't feel it. And it's the anxiety. But I might want to reach and stretch, and part of your growth is to want to. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful about who you are, because that shows the truth of who you want to become and reach and stretch and grow and become more. But often the anxiety interferes, and it makes the meditations just a breathing technique. It makes your imagination just your imagination, just imaging. And it makes your intuition blocked, difficult to trust. I don't trust my intuition. And it interferes and alienates you from your soul and spirit. Not that it cuts you off, you're always connected, but it interferes, and you feel alienated, you feel separate. And so anxiety and the way we do it, physically, through the body, through the mind, through the soul and spirit, is keeping things frozen in place. And that's so important to look at, especially the physical ones, because these can be the flag to say, hey, slow down, Michaiel, you're feeling anxious, you're starting to bite your nails, you're starting to crack your knuckles, and why am I doing this? I don't know. Because I always do it, but when do you do it? Notice, when do you do it? When you're feeling anxious. Well, and like the part of you says, just give me a technique. But it's important to understand the big scope, to see the big picture, because then you can relate to it differently. You can change the way you're relating to anxiety. You can understand its causes. So important. And so the first step is to understand the big picture, to look at what it does, in order to take your power back. The second step is then to look at, how do you specifically do it? How does it come through? Physically, does it come through the anxiety? Does it affect you with insomnia? Is that another malady that it causes for you? What does it do to you physically? Do you bite your nails? And of course, I haven't even mentioned, the other area is addiction. Addictive responses are all rooted in anxiety. Over-drinking, overeating, over-sexing, over whatever is a form of trying to feel good, to numb out to what? To my anxiety. So addictive responses, look at them, explore them, understand them. And as you do, you can start to see the scope of what you're doing.